Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you an inside look to what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we'll be talking about two big upcoming events in astrology. This is the lunar eclipse in Scorpio and also Venus in Cancer. But in case you missed it, last week we talked all about Taurus season, which has a lot of big changes going on. So if you'd like to know more about that, then definitely listen to last week's episode before diving into this one.
And just to give you a heads up, next week we will tell you everything you need to know about the end of Mercury retrograde in Taurus and how it affects you. Also, as you're listening to this episode, if you find that you have any astrology questions that come up, please feel free to send them to us on Spotify and we will answer them in next week's episode.
And after a short ad break, we're going to dive right into it. So the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, this is the next eclipse in our eclipse cycle that begins on May 5th at 1:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. What you need to know. Eclipses are basically supercharged new and full moons. If full moons are a time of releasing, then a lunar eclipse could have that element of letting go. Now, what will you be letting go of? Some of the Scorpio themes of surrendering control so that you can allow and accept change and transformation to come into your life.
Because lunar eclipses are a little bit more intense and unpredictable, this isn't a time where we set intentions for the full moon before it happens. It's more about seeing what comes up and allowing things to be released and let go as they come. Another thing to keep in mind is that Scorpio does deal with privacy. You might find that you are reflecting on your boundaries during this time and figuring out what things you want to share and what things you want to keep a little bit more private.
Why this eclipse matters? Well, one, full moons are already a lot of energy. And as Kara just mentioned, this is an eclipse and it can be a little intense, but also two, there can just be a lot of strong emotions that come up during this lunar eclipse. Something you might not know is this is actually the last Scorpio eclipse. There will be no more eclipses in Scorpio for a while. We won't have one for a few years from now. So congrats, you made it to the end of Scorpio eclipses. So there are some aspects that will make this eclipse a little bit more unique. The first one is that the sun is conjunct a retrograde Mercury and the moon will be opposite a retrograde Mercury. This can be highlighting themes of introspection and reflection. If you find that you are thinking back on maybe the past year and a half during the eclipse cycle, how you felt, or if you find that you just want to take a step back and look within, this is definitely an eclipse to do that.
The moon at the time of the eclipse will also be trine Mars. Because Scorpio is a fixed sign, it can get very committed to its beliefs and values. However, Mars is a quick moving energy. It will make all of the releasing that we're going through at this time quick so that we can focus on the future and moving forward.
Now, also too, it's important to know that the sun will be conjunct Uranus and the moon will be opposite Uranus. Now, with the sun conjunct Uranus, it's definitely a time where you want to bring in some positive changes into your life, but also with the moon aspect, you might find that you are wanting to act on these changes rather quickly. And something that's important to remember is that Mercury is still retrograde at this time, so you might want to take time to consider the situation and make a more thoughtful decision before acting on those changes so that you can have a little bit of a better outcome.
The final aspect that we wanted to mention is that the moon will be trine Saturn. Trines are positive aspects, and Saturn is a more serious long-term energy. So as we're going through all of these changes and experiencing all of this emotion, it can be helpful to think about how this is kind of laying some of the groundwork or the foundation for our goals and the things that we have planned for the future.
Now, the next thing that's coming up that you'll probably want to know about is Venus entering Cancer. This happens on May 7th at 10:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, what you need to know is that while Venus is in Cancer, it's a period of time where you might find that it's a little bit more important to be there for the people that are close to you in your life, and you might find that you're showing them a little bit more kindness and support than usual.
How this affects you is you're going to be feeling very creative during this time because both Venus and Cancer are very creative energies. You also might find that you're paying a little bit more attention to your home. You might be diving into your spring cleaning, decluttering your home, redecorating, things like that.
So something you might not know is that Cancer energy deals a lot with the home, family, etc. And Venus is how we socialize. So you might find that during this time, you might be invited to more gatherings, or you might want to be hosting more gatherings, whether that just be with friends, family, just having people near and dear to you spend time in places that are meaningful to you.
Another thing to know is that while Venus is in Cancer, it will be making only positive aspects to other planets, which we will talk about in just a moment. However, Venus will retrograde soon, so enjoy this Venus in Cancer transit because it's the last one before the retrograde.
Yeah, so how long do you have to really enjoy this Venus transit? You'll have from May 7th up until June 5th. Venus will enter Leo on June 5th at 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, while Venus is in Leo, it will retrograde in Leo. We will talk about that as we get closer to that happening, but you'll definitely want to enjoy Venus in Cancer while it's here. Now, since this is a Venus transit, I'm sure you're asking which are the zodiac signs that are most likely to find love. So the first will be Pisces risings, since Venus will be in their 5th house of romance, and also Capricorn rising, since Venus will be in their 7th house of relationships. So as Kara mentioned earlier, all the aspects that Venus in Cancer will make are going to be very positive. So these are the key dates you'll want to pay attention to. The first one being May 13th. Venus will be trine Saturn. This is a great day for taking the people in your life very seriously. Since Venus also deals with money and Saturn is all about longevity, this could also be a good day to make a big purchase if you are able to do so.
And then on May 26th, Venus will be sextile Uranus. This is another day that's going to really highlight your creativity. You also might be interested in trying something new.
And then lastly, on June 2nd, Venus will be trine Neptune. This is really good energy for romanticizing your life and being creative. But that's pretty much it for this week's episode. If you had any questions about anything you just heard or any general astrology questions that you'd like to ask, then definitely submit them to us on Spotify and we'll answer them in upcoming episodes. I do know that a lot of the questions we've been getting lately have been, to be honest, better suited for a reading, so we can take a deep look at your chart and answer those really specific questions that are tailored to you and your experiences on that more personal level. So if that's something you're interested in, then this is your reminder. We do offer readings. Readings are hosted on an app called Intro, which allows for FaceTime style calls. We have readings for as short as 15 minutes to as long as 1 hour. You decide what you want to talk about. Some of the most popular readings we do are month ahead predictions for you on a personal level, transit interpretations, sometimes even solar returns, among other things. So if that's something that interests you, then definitely consider booking a reading.
And if you've never booked a reading with us before, then you can use the code STARS, all caps, STARS, for $20 off your first reading.
And just a reminder, next week we'll be talking all about what happens after Mercury retrograde ends. So you'll definitely want to stick around for that one. If you want to be in the loop with us and everything that's to come in the stars, then make sure you're following us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BLME The Stars. That is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday.